Namaste everyone, welcome to the class again. Now in this lecture, let us start with meaning and classification of accounts. The term accounting has been derived from the word account. An account means a record of business transactions concerning a particular person, a firm, asset or income expenses. It is the summarized record of all the transactions which take place in an accounting year with respect to a person or a thing. It has two sides in the form of T. Left hand side is called debit side and right hand side is known as credit side. When the entry is made on the debit side, it is said to be account is debited. Similarly, an entry on the credit side means the account is credited. So, here we are understanding how the accounting is done. Okay, what is an account? So, first, what is an account? Account means record of the business transactions concerning a particular person or a firm or income and expenses. So, record of business, and how we do this record? So, here in T form we have said, T form, as you see, for T we have this side like this. So, here also the format is something like that. On the left hand side we have debit and on right hand side we have credit. If I make the entry on debit side, so I will say that my account is debited, and if I make an entry on credit side, I will say my account is credited. Okay, so far is okay. Now what is debit, what is credit, that we will see later on. All transactions relating to rent, so here it is a rent account. All transactions relating to the rent during the accounting year shall be recorded in the account given above. In this account, the various columns are explained below. Okay, so first column is date. The date entered in this column is the date on which the transaction has taken place. Simple. Date is a column in which we mention the date on which a particular transaction has taken. Particulars. In this column, the cash account is mentioned if the rent is paid or received in cash. So, in particular in this column, the cash account is mentioned if the rent is paid or received in cash. If the rent is to be paid, received, the name of landlord is mentioned. So, two things: if in cash I have received the payment, okay, or I have paid the payment, then in this particular I will write cash. And if I have to receive the rent or I have to give the rent, okay, then in that case I will mention the name of landlord or tenant. Tenant means the person who is there on rent. So, in particulars we describe here for rent account, either it is cash or it is the name of person, okay, from whom I have to take rent or I have to give rent. Now next is general folio, J.F. It stands for general folio. Folio means page number of the journal on which the concerned transaction is recorded. So the transaction which I am recording here, now this transaction is again recorded in some other book. So on which page number this transaction is recorded there, that page number I will mention here. That is general folio. So it stands for the general folio. Folio means page number of the journal on which the concerned transaction is recorded. So rent account means here we are recording everything related to rent. We have already seen general account, we have seen journal. So in journal, day by day we keep on recording the transactions. So on which page number this particular transaction is recorded in journal, okay, that page number I will mention in JF. Then I have amount column, simple. the amount of the transaction is recorded in this column. So in this column what we do, we record amount. Ledger account may be classified into 3 categories. So this is a ledger account. This kind of account is called ledger account. Now we have 3 categories of ledger account. First is personal account. The account relating to persons and organizations are known as personal account. So any account related with any person or any organization, that is your personal account. For example, Ram's account, Hari's account, Krishna, Lal and Sons account, this is a company, ABC and company. Accounts are personal account. So these are all accounts are personal accounts. All accounts relating to debitor and creditor are personal account. Also all accounts related to debitor and creditor. Debitor and creditor, creditor is the person, okay, from whom I have to receive the money, and debitor is the person to whom I have to pay the money. So their accounts are also personal account. The capital account and a drawing account of the proprietor or partner are also personal account. So you can remember all these words, that is drawing account, capital account, they are also personal accounts. Now debit side of the personal account shows how much money the firm is to receive from the person concerned. So debit side of the personal account means debit side. So debit side and credit side, I have 2 sides. So when you are making a personal account, so the debit side of that personal account, it indicates the money the firm is to be received from the person. Similarly, the credit side of the personal account shows how much money the firm is to pay to the person concerned. The balance of personal account at the end of accounting year are shown in the balance sheet. So whatever balance is there, that we will show in balance sheet. Okay. So personal account is what? It is account related with some person or some company or debitor or creditor. Now in personal account, on debit side you record all transactions, okay, from whom you have to receive the money, okay, and on credit side you record all the transactions to whom you have, you means company, or you have to pay the money, okay. Second account is real account. The account related to tangible and intangible assets are called real account. Land and building account, machinery account, furniture account, cash account, bank account, parents account, goodwill, patent account, goodwill account are the examples of real account. Real accounts always have debit balance, which shows how much of the concerned asset is owned by the firm. Balance of real account are shown in the balance sheet. Okay. So real account, it is the account related with assets, okay, tangible or intangible assets. Examples, few example are building account, machinery account, furniture account, okay, bank account, patent account, goodwill account, etc. They are all real accounts. Real account always have debit balance, which shows how much of the concerned asset is owned by the firm. So how much we own, how much goods we own, that is the debit balance. And balance of real account are shown in the balance sheet. Again, the balance we will going to show in balance sheet. Third is nominal account. Now the account related to expenses, losses, incomes and gains are known as nominal account. Example, wage account, wage account, rent account, salary account, interest account and discount account. So many of the terms maybe at this stage you are not able to understand, but don't worry, as we go further we will see examples, then you will be clear about all these things. So here what we have discussed, that ledger accounts, they are all of 3 types. One is personal account, one is real account and one is nominal account. Now personal account means account related with some person or a company. Real account means account related with assets, okay, goods, tangible or intangible assets. And nominal account, it is account related with all types of expenses and incomes. Debit balance of the nominal account shows expenditure or loss, while the credit balance shows the income or gain. So remember this term, that debit balance of the nominal account, it shows expenditure or loss, while the credit balance shows income or gain. Balance of nominal account are shown in profit and loss account to ascertain net profit or net loss. Net profit is credited to the capital account, whereas the net loss is debited from the capital account. Now accounting system. Accounting system may broadly be classified into two categories: manual accounting system and computerized accounting system. Manual means in one book you are writing by yourself, and computerized means there is some software, using that you are doing the accounting. Manual accounting system. Under these accounting systems, accounting work is done by people without making use of computer. Manual accounting system are of the following types. First is cash system and mercantile system. Under cash system of accounting, all incomes are considered to be earned only when they are actually received in cash. So this manual accounting system, this is of the following type. First is cash system and mercantile system. Under cash system of accounting, all incomes are considered to be earned only when they are actually received in cash. Similarly, expenses are considered to be incurred only when they are actually paid in cash. Therefore, the income and expenses are recorded when cash is received or paid. Accrued income, income received in advance, and the outstanding expenses are not recorded. So we are recording here only those things for which we are receiving money or for which we are giving money. The difference between total cash received and the total cash payment is treated as profit or loss. This system is used by government and professionals like doctors and lawyers. Cash system is simple and inexpensive. Now this system, cash system, means whenever cash is received or given out, you are recording that thing. But it does not disclose the true profit or loss or the true financial position of the business. So if you have done some work and for that you have to receive amount after some time, then that entry you are not writing. Okay, even though that amount is yours, but you are not writing because you have not received that in cash. So when we do recording in cash system, actual picture, actual profit or loss, we do not know. Now under accrual or mercantile system, incomes are recorded for the period in which they are actually received or not. In the same manner, expenses are charged to the period in which they are incurred, irrespective of whether they are actually paid or not. So there are two different systems. One is cash system, in which you do recording only when you receive the cash. Okay, suppose you gone to shopkeeper and you purchased something and paid him, so you have given cash, so you will record that thing. But if suppose I gone to shopkeeper, I purchased something and I said him that I will pay you after 10 days. Okay, then in cash system I will not record that thing because I have not paid cash. But now in this accrual system or mercantile system, I will record it because that transaction I have done and I have to pay the money, whether I am paying today or after some time, but that has to be paid. So therefore, as that transaction is done today itself, so I will record that. So this is your accrual system. So irrespective of whether we have actually paid or not, we have to record. This system shows true profit or loss and the true financial position of the business. So by this we get the true profit or loss. But it is more difficult and expensive. Under tax laws, it is compulsory to maintain account in the mercantile system. Now this system, they say that this system is little more difficult, complicated, and this is expensive also. Now why it is expensive? Because for this we have to hire some persons who have good knowledge of recording all these things. And if we see tax clause, so under tax laws we have to maintain our account using this mercantile system. So this is your cash system and mercantile system. This is one type of system by which we record the transaction. Second is single entry system. Under this system, both the aspects of transactions may be recorded for certain transactions and only one aspect is recorded for other transaction. So in single entry system, what we said, that under this system both the aspects of transactions may be recorded for certain transactions and only one aspect is recorded for other transactions. Means for some transactions you are recording both the aspects. Now what we mean by both the aspects? Suppose I purchase one pen from the shopkeeper, then there are two aspects, that pen is received by me and I have paid the cash. So this is called two aspect. And what we mean by one aspect? Only one aspect. That means I have received the pen, that's it. Okay, so that is one aspect. So in single entry system we may record two aspect or only one aspect. Some transactions may not be recorded at all. Only the bare essential records are maintained for the sake of convenience and practical utility. So we record only the important items. According to Eric Kohler, single entry system is a system of bookkeeping in which as a rule only records of cash and the personal account are maintained. It is always incomplete, double entry, varying with the circumstances. So here according to Kohler, this single entry system is only the record of personal account and here we record only the cash. The silent features of single entry system are as follows. Under the single entry system only the personal accounts are maintained. Real and nominal account are generally not kept. Generally a cash book is maintained, but both business transactions and private transactions of the proprietor are mixed in cash book. One has to depend on original vouchers to collect the required information. For example, the amount of purchase during an accounting year may have to be calculated by totaling the original invoices received from the supplier. There is a lack of uniformity in the books maintained. Every firm keeps books according to its requirement and convenience. Single entry systems can be used by proprietorship and partnership firm. Joint stock companies are not allowed to maintain account on this system. So here there are lot of inaccuracies because we are not recording all the transactions. So for partnership firm or joint stock company we are not using this system. Single entry system offers some advantages. It is very simple method of recording business transactions. It does not require adequate knowledge of principles of accounting. It is less expensive as compared to double entry system, and it is very suitable for a small firm which have a small number of transactions and very few assets and liabilities. So this system we use when our organization is very small. It is very easy to ascertain profit or loss. The proprietor has simply to compare the financial position of the business at the close of accounting period with that of the beginning. Single entry suffers the following disadvantages. So these are few advantages. So basically the major advantage is that it is simple and it is less time consuming and less knowledge is required here. Now it has some disadvantages. First disadvantage is it is not possible to check the arithmetic accuracy. Okay, so arithmetic accuracy means whether all the records you have done they are correct or not, you cannot check. So arithmetic accuracy of the books by preparing a trial balance is not possible. Therefore the system encourages misappropriation, fraud and carelessness. So by using this there could be chance of fraud. Trading account cannot be prepared to ascertain the rate of gross profit on sales. Now, trading account, it is a type of account by which we ascertain the gross profit. In this single entry system, it is not possible. This hampers planning and sound decision making. So, as we cannot calculate gross profit, we cannot plan accordingly. Third, profit and loss account cannot be prepared to ascertain the rate of net profit on sales. Now, as we cannot make trading account, we cannot frame profit and loss account also. So, all these types of account also we will see afterwards. It is not possible to compare the progress made over past years. So, past years what progress we have done, that also we cannot compare. Balance sheet cannot be prepared as there are no real account. Now, balance sheet also we cannot prepare as there is no real account. Exact financial position of the business cannot be ascertained. So, financial position of the business also we cannot know exactly what is the financial position. And correct price of the business is not known at the time of sale of the business. So, when we are winding up of our business, when we are selling our business, then what is the correct value of our business, that we don't know. So, a lot of disadvantages are there with single entry system. Now, third type of system is double entry system. Double entry system of accounting was developed in 15th century in Italy by Lucas Pacioli. He defined it as a method of arranging account in such a way that the dual aspect would be expressed by some debit amount and an equal and offsetting credit amount. Every transaction has two aspects under the double entry system. So, in double entry system, every transaction has two aspects. Means, as we say that when I receive one pen, so there are two aspects, that pen is come to me and my cash is gone out. Under the double entry system, both the aspects of every transactions are recorded. Thus, the double entry system may be defined as a system which records or which recognizes and records both the aspect of transactions. So, for each transaction there are two aspects, and in double entry system we record both the aspects. Double entry system offers the following advantages. Now, what are the different advantages of double entry system? First advantage is it is a scientific system. Under this system, all the business transactions are recorded according to certain specified rule. Therefore, double entry system is more scientific than the other system of bookkeeping. This system helps in attain the objective of accounting. The rules of recording transactions under this system are so definite and clearly stated that the system is used in almost all countries. So, it is a scientific system, and as we are recording all the aspects, so this is used by all over the world, means all countries use this system because it helps to attain the objective of accounting. Second, complete record. Double entry system provide a complete record of all business transactions. So, here we have a complete record of all business transactions in double entry system. Both the debit and credit aspect of the transactions are recorded. Therefore, full detail of every transactions are available. So, here complete detail is available. Third, check on the accuracy of account. For every debit entry, a credit entry of equal amount is made. So, here for every debit entry we have one credit entry. So, there is a cross check. So, check on the accuracy of account. A trial balance can be prepared to check the arithmetic accuracy. Now, here we can make the trial balance also. D. Ascertainment of the profit or loss. On the basis of trial balance, a trading and profit and loss account can be prepared. So, we first prepare a trial balance, then we create a trading and profit and loss account, and from this we can create profit and loss account, and we know the total profit or loss during a particular period. Knowledge of financial position. At the end of each accounting period, balance sheet can be prepared to determine the financial position of the business. This becomes possible because under the double entry system, a separate account is maintained for each and every asset and liability of the firm. Next, it facilitates managerial decision making. So, double entry system provides reliable and detailed information. Such information is helpful to managers in taking business decisions. So, it facilitates managerial decision making. Details for control. Double entry system permits account to be kept in a much detail as necessary. So, here in double entry system, the details are the informations or the records are very much detailed. Detailed information about purchase, sale, stock, debtor, creditor, incomes, expenses, etc. is available for purpose of control. So, to control our business, whatever information we need, it is present in double entry system. Comprehensive study. Under the double entry system, each item of income and expenditure is recorded separately. Management can compare the expenditure or income of current year with those of the previous year to know the trend. Okay, so we can compare, okay, from past years, okay, result to this year's result to understand what is the trend, whether we are doing good. Similarly, the profit and loss account and the balance sheet of one year can be compared with those of the previous years and the reasons for change can be identified. Less scope for fraud, as here it is very much detailed, so there is less chances of fraud. As full information about all assets and liabilities is recorded, there is a lesser possibility of misappropriation and other frauds. If some manipulation take place, it can be easily detected. So, if someone has done some wrong calculations, that we can easily identify. Next, it is a legal evidence. The book of accounts maintained under the double entry system are accepted as true and fair under the Companies Act, the Income Tax Act and the other laws. These are also accepted as documentary evidences by the court of law. This is because complete record of each and every transaction is maintained in this system of accounting to certain specified rule. So, here it is a legal evidence, means legally, okay, under law, okay, this can be used, okay, suitable for all businesses, and it is suitable for all businesses. Double entry system is so flexible that it can be easily introduced in big and small trading and manufacturing and other types of businesses. So, as we see here, there are lot of advantages of this double entry system. We prefer double entry system. Okay, we have seen single entry system, we have seen double entry system, we have seen what are advantages and disadvantages in both. Now there is a chart which gives you a brief idea of double entry system and single entry system. So I will stop lecture here. Okay, you again go through all these topics. You can go through this distinction between single entry and double entry system, and you can memorize this. Okay, memorizing this is the better way to understand this single entry and double entry system. Okay, so thank you for watching this lecture, for being with me and understanding all the terms related with accounting. Now many of the terms I know that is not clear, but don't worry, as we see other terms, as we start using it in problems, you will understand all things. Thank you for watching again.